Well, hello there, my friends. Hello there. And hello to all of you. Do you know what time it is? It is turtle time. Yeah. Were you watching last season when we had this skin? Also, it always creeps me out how you can't actually see my eyes until I turn my head. See? Look, I do have eyes. Also, oh, what's that? What's that over there? I've actually had to think for about half a second. This is the Christmas area. I had no idea it was in proximity with our turtles behind us. And with the potion project, I decided not to do something this Christmas. We got llamas. Oh, and we got a sleigh. Oh, wow. Maybe I should have done something this year. I mean, I called you llamas. Clearly they're reindeers, right? And here we've got Cleo and Etho riding Santa's sleigh. That's amazing. And this gargantuan build behind me was made by Tango Tech and B-Dubs. And for every day of Christmas, Tango's been given a gift to different hermits every time. There is also a giant snowman off in the distance. This appears to be still under construction. And you know, what a great start to this episode. I've managed to distract myself in a big way. Well, okay then, it's back to business as usual. No, that didn't work, did it? That was a terrible pun. This episode, you might have guessed it, we're building a turtle farm because we have one more ingredient for brewing potions. Essentially, there are two projects left to do, the turtle farm and then the dragon's breath farm. And somewhere down behind me is going to be the spot that we build this farm. I'm thinking in this little area here, we'll chop out the trees in the middle, flatten some land, and we will have a space to construct a turtle farm. It's going to be low down on the ground, but what I'm going to do is encase it in a cyan box, kind of like we've done with this tower here, and then we can build a tower in the future on top of it, because the farm we're going to create today doesn't really need much vertical space. So my friends, if you've never watched Season 6 of Hermitcraft, it was a really special season where we transformed as a group a massive area of land split into different districts. We are currently in the industrial district here. My frame rates are being challenged, that's for sure. There is just so much stuff in this world. And this was one of the builds that we did right here early on in the season. It was fun to mess around with a block palette and include some gravel. And then later on in the season, Jevin pranked us by turning this into an aquarium. And I absolutely loved this. I thought it was so amazing that it could just stay. And all of the turtles, as a result, escaped from our turtle farm, and I kind of forgotten that we had built one of these. And with the power of World Edit, yeah, I had a feeling that might happen because there's loads of seagrass here. Aha, but look at that. There's a difference between using commands and sponges. Sponges actually get rid of grass and long grass. I don't know if that'd ever be useful for anything other than clearing out water. So we are essentially going to be rebuilding this farm, but trying to turn it into an AFK one where I can continuously breed the turtles. So the trick here is that you put down your eggs on the sand, and then the turtles that come from it, that will be their home. So if I summon some in with spawn eggs, obviously they're not going to realise that's their home. You can see they can't escape. The fence gates keep them in here, but they also create a gap in which baby turtles will get pushed through. So with a couple of larger ones, oh my god. Oh, that's so adorable. And look, they're getting pushed off the edge. Oh, they're so tiny and adorable, aren't they? So yes, our baby turtles then hang out in this space down here. Now what happens when they grow into an adult is that they drop a scute, and a scute is what we're trying to farm. But then as an adult in this area, they take damage between the two blocks, so eventually they die. And you know, yes, farming in Minecraft is a very cruel business. The next part of this contraption is really simple to understand. We've just got rails down below and a hopper minecart that continuously goes around so it picks up any of the scutes. And so before we go any further with this, we do want to do a crude test. Look at that, there's nothing obstructing us. Just holding down right click and then moving across and breeding the turtles. That is a really good sign. So we now have the basics down for this farm, right? We know that we're going to have lanes of turtles on top of the sand, and then minecart tracks either side will go back and forth to breed them. We just need the space cleared out to build that farm in, and this is the spot that I have picked right here. As you can see, it's on a bit of a hilly slope. And this is the same spot that I pointed out earlier in the video. I just didn't realize it was on a hill. In fact, There are quite a few hilly areas here and there, but you tend to not really see it from up above because there's just trees and canopy everywhere. But what I'm eventually going to do is tidy up these shorelines, fill in the ponds either side of this landmass, and then this thing will be better surrounded. But I do actually want to embrace the hill here. So what I'm going to do first of all is build a cyan box that kind of embraces the shape of this hill, and that thing itself is going to have a slope to it. And if you're wondering where I get all these materials from, well, we have built so many farms that we might forget some of them that we have. I was thinking about where am I going to get cactus from, and then reminded myself that we've built a cactus farm inside of this tower. A pretty remarkable one as well. So anyway, let's grab some cactus, go chuck it in our smelter. This thing has been fully stocked with fuel, by the way. And that's good because we were making tons of stuff over here. I've completely forgot. The glass is for the end crystals, right? Aha. We've got loads of dried kelp over here for our dried kelp blocks. And anyways, I'm getting somewhat sidetracked here. In the past, we built a flower farm. And fortunately, thanks to updates over time, the introduction of the cornflower means that getting your hands on some blue dye is nice and easy. And that's how we get the cyan. And as for the terracotta, I've stocked up on so much of this stuff earlier on in the season. It's just lying around waiting to be turned into a tower. So rather than suss everything out in creative mode, I decided to just wing this and count the blocks. It's about 21 blocks across and then 33 down to the end there. And it just so happens that this drops by about 10 blocks in height. So I figured, well, let's have everything go down after 3 blocks, and then that way we can have our box slope down all the way to here at the bottom. So normally we have a flat platform and then a tower that just goes straight up, but I'm thinking since this one is going to be wonky, maybe we could do something really cool where the tower sort of leans outwards all the way up. Yeah, we are setting ourselves up for an interesting design in the future. So we got a beacon beam. You know what that means? I've been doing some digging, and now we've got a giant hole in the ground below the base of this thing. And around the outside of this entire thing, there are lights, periodically spaced. I was kind of hoping that they would stop mobs spawning on the top here, since it's kind of open, and then they can wander in, but I put down some concrete and torches just to be on the safe side. And the white concrete is obviously the material of choice for our towers, so it's probably going to start off like this. And then it will extend at an angle off into this direction. That tree is probably going to get chopped down, but we're not doing that anytime soon. This is the entrance, and I decided to lower the area in here so that we would be below this roof. And our farms are basically just going to be flat, going back and forth and filling up all of this space. So one big building session and everything's done, right? Nope, it's actually taken me a really long time to figure this out, but it's been well and truly worth it. So we're going to have a minecart rail system where the player is parked in a spot and they're going to pick up lots of seeds. We're going to have a clock so that they stay there for like 5 minutes, and then it's going to send them out to breed. So they're going to go along this track like so, all the way down this lane. They'll hit a bump at the end and come all the way back. This happens while the player is facing the turtles that are going to be down in this space. Now when they get back here, we need to manipulate the tracks. So you'll see here that we've got a detector rail, and that's going to change this one so that we can go along here. But when we come back, it'll be back in that position. So we move on to the next one, we do the same thing. When we get all the way to the ends though, when we come back, this is going to manipulate the rail in front of us each and every time. So it means we head on straight like this and then turn left at the end. So the tricky thing was how to power the block with the rail on top of it. And if you want it to be seamless and powered from below, you've got to use a redstone torch. But you need it to be off by default, which is why we have 2 torches here. And this is a really good lesson to learn in redstone. If you want that torch to be off, but you're powering it from 2 different sources, both of those sources need to be on. So when you go over the detector rail and change the input, it doesn't actually change the torch here. And so luckily we were able to squeeze in the double torches, and then everything else was pretty simple. We need to manipulate the rails at either side of this, going all the way down until the very last one. Now let's give the thing a little ride. Here I am doing some breeding. We come back, we go into the next one, and it works just like I described, right? And then we go all the way back, which is just brilliant. So there's more redstone to figure out in this spot, but right now I kind of want to jump ahead. Let's do some building. Let's get this turtle farm in place. Well, there it is, right? That's a turtle farm right there, and like we did last time, bringing back these blocks with the end rods for lighting. However, the use of chains here is really cool, and at some point, this room will have a ceiling to keep us safe. We also need to block off this entrance, because this thing's getting pretty close to being ready to use, right? I got to figure out some of the redstone down the end there, like I already mentioned, and then just down here, we need to hook up all of the rails that collect the items from down below, and create a collection system. Somewhere around here, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. All of these rails down here. As you can see though, I brought with me boxes of seagrass and also turtle eggs. So we're going to put one, or maybe I could put 4 on every single tile. I'm actually not sure how many to put in here. Okay, there are 17 slots, so just over a stack. We'll do all of them with 4. Since I've only got 2 stacks and a bit, we're going to put 2 turtle eggs on each and every tile. Also, the math of this might be really good because it takes 2 turtles to breed, and if they share the same home spot, then effectively, you know, 1 egg gets laid every time on each of the sand. Okay then, just 2 things to do. They're both redstone related and both of them are actually done. So let me show you what's going on here. I decided that I only wanted to use 1 minecart hopper and 1 unloading system, and so in order to do that, I needed to create a jumble of these corner rails like so. It's pretty obvious once I push this one along what it does. It means that the minecart hopper can go around the entire loop, but when it makes its way back out, it hops over onto the rails in this direction, and it's just like a junction, allowing it to go in and come out a different direction. So eventually it'll make its way all the way back round to this unloading station. Then over in this corner we have a system similar to what you've seen over at the rabbit farm, and it'll be activated by the player coming and sitting under this string. I've just realised I kind of need to add a clock, like an EFO hopper clock, to power this block every now and then, so the player sitting here will go off and breed all of the turtles. But when they are in this space, the tripwire hook is going to activate the clock. That is going to be dispensing seaweed. It's going to fall down where the player can pick it up, but if the inventory of the player is full, it goes into the hopper, makes its way across through the item elevator, back into the storage. So I've got a clock to add, and I think I'm going to add a ceiling as well, just to be on the safe side. I'm going to put some slabs going all the way across all of these gaps. I don't think anything would actually get up the top here and then decide to fall in, but why risk it, you know? Let's play it on the safe side. Ah, we got baby turtles down there. And now I am horrified. Why? I just realised that we need to put some temporary blocks in here and get them all hatched first. Yeah, the temporary blocks need to go down here, right? Because if I replace the fence posts, yeah, then that's bad news, because then the turtles that grow up will die in this space. So they need to be adults before I remove these temporary blocks. Okay then, crisis averted. I'm very glad I came up with the correct solution on the fly. I don't think there is a downside to doing it this way. We've got to be super careful when there's lots of turtles in though, not to hit them. But here's the thing, you can hit the blocks on this side, so I think it's all good. Oh, and in this lane, unfortunately, one of those cute, adorable little baby turtles fell down below, and I don't think there is a way to rescue it, so it's kind of just down there at the moment. When that one grows into an adult, that one is going to be our first scoot. So this, my friends, is what an overnight session of turtle breeding looks like. Little Xisuma is just going back and forth and occasionally breeding some of the turtles so that they can lay eggs. And then, of course, it requires nighttime in order for those eggs to eventually hatch into baby turtles. And luckily, overnight, the server has been quite quiet recently, so there was plenty of nighttime for them to grow into adults. Sadly, though, it's not all been smooth sailing. I can hear a lot of zombie groaning going on outside. But anyway, over here, you will see that we have used up a lot of seagrass, but we did not get a lot of scutes from all of this. And the reason is because there is a flaw with this farm, which I think probably activated pretty early on and stopped tons and tons of scutes from being activated because we've used a load of seagrass. But if we go down below, you'll see what that is right here. This minecart stopped going around because there are turtles down here. Now, the important observation is that they're not at the other end, and I think what they did is glitch through these blocks here. So when they go inside the block and they suffocate, they can then sort of be pushed by other turtles, and I think eventually they fell out the other side and landed down here. So we need a row of blocks across this spot. So I will take care of that, and we will try another session real soon. One thing I want to point out though is that when I was over here I could hear a lot of moaning and groaning of zombies, and if we just go outside here, look, there's just loads of mobs congregating right next to the farm. So at some point I need to come out here, cover everything in leaves, and make this a nice and friendly AFK spot. And the scutes, let's not forget about the scutes, right? How many did I get? Yeah, not a lot. I don't know how the seagrass got in here. That makes no sense to me whatsoever, because all I'm doing is holding down right click, and when it gets dispensed it happens over there, nowhere near this area, but somehow seagrass got through. Also, I did actually have like stone filling up my entire inventory before I started recording, so all of that works well. My friends, I've solved the mystery of the seagrass. It comes from turtles dying. So not only is this a scute farm, I guess it's technically a seagrass farm as well. And I've added a double layer of smooth stone here just to be on the safe side. And look at me now, doing some hands-free seagrass farming. We're going to need a whole bunch more of this to do some more AFKing. And hopefully now we can get our hands on all of those scutes. So my friends, it's been a very successful project. Unlike the Rabbit's Foot farm, we actually have tons of drops. Reason being that I went AFK overnight and the following day was my day off, and it looked like hardly any hermits were online all day, so we had plenty of nighttime plus another overnight session. This place has been loaded for a very long time, and that means, look at it, tons and tons of scutes. Let's get these out of here. So there we go, a full shulker box's worth and a little bit extra. That is just wonderful. Now, I'm going to take these over to the brewer, and in the meantime, going to share with you a clip. In the last episode, we played the dodgeball minigame. That was, of course, part of a bigger competition, and it's now all over, and the results are in.
Welcome, Turf War participants. We have fought long and hard to create these minigames, and then we fought long and hard to win the minigames. And we are going to reveal who is the winner. I think we already know who the winner is, but we're going to do it anyways. So
the viewers.
the viewers won.
Oh.
So Hep finished with 3 whole points. They won Showdown
Easy,
Scars
guys.
minigame, Grass Jump, and My Game Rings of Death. And the Mycelium Resistance won so many games that I had to make the scoreboard bigger. So absolute landslide. We won Dodgeball, Whack-a-Stand, Escape the Mycelium, Rip Zone, Amaze, and Floatage. Meaning the Mycelium Resistance take the win, and Scar, you've got to build the back of my mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Lag!
Whoa!
GG.
So it may seem like sad news for this Hep member, but the reality is we had a ton of fun playing these games. I'm a little gutted that I didn't get to play Etho's game over here. I was scheduled to play that, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. But here's the thing, as a result of this all being over and concluded now, we've agreed to turn the shopping district all back to grass. So I am a happy bee as I get to get rid of all of this mycelium. So I'm thinking it would be my plan in the new year to do live streams on Hermitcraft and focus on cleaning up this entire area, restoring it to its former glory. So in a ways, did we win? Because we get to get the grass back, right? That's what we were fighting for. I think like XB said, the real winners here were you guys, the viewers. That was an amazing amount of fun. And you know what? Having reasons to build mini games is wonderful on a server like this. And we are, of course, creating a whole new range of possibilities with our brewing setup. And so another New Year's resolution of mine will be to take advantage of all the potions that we've got here to create some more mini games. The scutes are actually the last thing that we need, and when we get them into this system, all the different potions in the game will be being brewed here. Now I've just realized there's something rather different about this ingredient. It's not stackable, is it? I kind of forgot about that. I don't think it's actually going to be a problem though. We're going to fill up all of these like normal. Of course, this one would potentially require more storage to store more ingredients overall. And look at this. Quite a fair bit of extra storage space needed here. Full of helmets for brewing. That's right, this item is of course also a helmet as well. Now I have a feeling that this one's going to be really popular, so we're going to put a lot of shulker boxes into here. And this is the last one here. I was a little bit nervous that there might be something different about this, but it seems to be business as usual. There we go. The ingredients are in the correct order, and that is fantastic. We are now brewing up shulker boxes of this stuff. Well, I'm really happy with this project. The technical stuff is now pretty much done. We have one more farm to make, which is the Dragon's Breath. However, the module for that has been built down below. So now we're going to start focusing more on the building, and next episode I'm definitely going to be doing something at the front here, building it up a little bit more. The structure will start to take shape. It is exciting times for this project. Anyways, as you know, after this episode goes out, I will be live on twitch.tv/Xisuma about an hour after it's published. So be sure to head over there and see if I'm live, and hit the follow button as well, and I'll see you on Twitch. But anyways, it's the end of this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. As always, thanks for your support, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.